Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope you guys are doing well. This is going to be a bit of it's mostly going to be audio only, and it's also unscripted, as in I wrote some points down but didn't write something extensive into like a script or something so I can read off of. So what I'm going to be saying is completely raw, basically. So at first, I didn't want to make this kind of video because I didn't want to follow trends and stuff like that, but seeing as following trends can be of importance to people and clarifying certain aspects of said trends could help the brothers and sisters because even they follow trends and whatnot, I thought maybe, you know what, fine, okay, I'll do it. Especially since after knowing what's going on, some points I've managed to ascertain from these situations that I'm about to delve into in a bit of morals and wisdom I wish to share with the others just in case they don't know. And I haven't really seen much of anyone really mentioning these points, little to at all regarding them. Alright, so let's start with like a brief introduction on Andrew Tate, which is the current trend that we're trying to deal with. So brother Andrew Tate, before he accepted Islam, he was a very controversial figure, being a red pillion, which is what I call the red pill followers, red pillion. Sounds like reptilian, but never mind. The thing is that he was way more like advocating for masculinity and, you know, being this Giga Chad kind of thing, but it was more like red pill and non-Muslim like tendencies and whatnot. And it wasn't, you know, really too aligned with Islam, but he slowly saw, like after he heard of Islam and did a bit of research on it, he slowly gravitated towards it and saw it his audience. Then afterwards, he, alhamdulillah, accepted Islam and he became a brother, one of us. And he's slowly learning, of course, and with time, you know, he might be one of the greatest brothers to have ever existed. You know, hopefully we make dua for him. But something that people may not know is that he had a bit of controversial past with a bunch of women or allegations against him, which I won't repeat what they are. And he also runs like this university called Hustle University, where apparently, allegedly, he just tells people who sign up just to make videos on him and basically spread the word about how awesome Andrew Tate is. And that's simming it down, and that's from non-Muslim sources, and we can't exactly really fully trust non-Muslim sources, even if it was a whole big video, even if it's unedited and whatnot in face value. We still prefer to be there live and stuff, but it's whatever. Now it's more of the case of that he got arrested for these similar allegations of the past and of like apparent recent allegations that I can't repeat them again. Not because I'm afraid that he might file a lawsuit on me or something. No, because I want to hide his sins, basically. If he did commit them anyway, which I don't think, you know, because as brothers and sisters, we should have like the best of intentions with our own brothers and sisters and not believe in the hearsays and allegations of non-Muslims against, you know, our Muslim brothers, unless there's like clear proof, you know, clear to your face proof that, you know, this has happened. And it comes to our next point, which is basically how do we handle all of this? So initially, you know, when he first accepted Islam, you know, there are a lot of people who, from our, you know, the online ummah, you could say, I don't know how to word this properly. I told you this is unscripted. Basically, who are so hyped. They're like, yes, finally, the man who speaks for us men, you know, he joined Islam and now, you know, we can teach him about Islam and he can do this the Islamic way. Some of them even stupidly, emotionally left Islam because he, you know, became a Muslim. We're just like, what? It's like at this point, were you even a sincere Muslim? If that was the case, like, are you serious? Really? That's a whole different discussion. The main focus is the fact that we believe that when a person becomes Muslim, when he reverts back to Islam rather, because we believe that when you were born a Muslim onto, you know, your inner disposition as a Muslim, and then by the practices of your parents and stuff, you then divert into other stuff. If you're not a Muslim, or if you're not born Muslim, and you're, for example, born Christian or something like that, when you come back to Islam, we call you a revert, basically. When he reverted to Islam, we believe like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wipes his sins off clean. So, clean slate. The only thing that this difference is, like my brother Squiddium says, is that, you know, you feel you're like a newborn baby, but you don't get your age back. Your sins are wiped clean, and you start fresh, you know, brand new. So, by that, we as Muslims, you know, brothers and sisters, we should also forgive and forget. Forgive him for the stuff he used to do, if they were true anyway. And forgive him in general as well. And forget about these things. Forget about these allegations. Forget about these problems that apparently that have happened around him, from him, and with his regards, you know. However, the thing that is pretty interesting and is also a form of sign or test to us Muslims is the fact that the non-Muslims who don't have the same morals and values as we do not forget and may find it hard to forgive, even if they were mere allegations and even if they were, you know, mere hearsays and rumors. Some of them may not have, like, you know, huge faith in God that he could guide Brother Andrew Tate to the truth and to the correct way, the straight path. This is the dunya, you know, and this is a whole major test for us in the end of the day. Now, with regards to, you know, him being in prison and him being, you know, charged, and I guess he was recently set free or he went out of bail or something. I do apologize if I confuse people, but if you can type in the proper terminology, or if you understand what I'm trying to say, then at least I'm fine with that. I'm sorry, I'm not used to this kind of stuff, but yeah, what we know is little. Truthfully, honestly, we know very little of what's going on. We don't have much evidences to work with, except for the few statements of the Romanian FBI. I don't know, I forgot what they were actually called, but yeah. If people out there are taking this way too seriously, which don't, just make dua for your brother. But if they are, all we can do is just wait. And in both cases, what do we do? In the cases that he is guilty, like for real guilty of these actions and stuff, any punishments that he receive here in the dunya will purify him in the akhirah. In the hereafter, he'll be purified, and it'll be a form of like leeway for him to enter paradise, because he's already been punished in the dunya, so there's no need. However, if he was not guilty, then there'll be compensation for him either in the dunya and akhirah or in the akhirah. Any wrong, harassment, backbiting, anything that has happened to him even after accepting Islam, that the non-Muslims delivered to them even when proven not guilty, so any more further harassment, any more false allegations and stuff, he'll be compensated in the dunya and akhirah or in the akhirah. But let's say ultimately things got twisted, like there's a third way, where basically it got twisted and he was forcibly guilty and stuff. He will still be compensated, and this punishment will be just a way of like, a means of test for him, or a means of struggle that at the end of the day he'll get an ultimate reward for it as compensation in the akhirah, in the hereafter. So all we can do now with these matters, like I said, not only just to forgive and forget because he's now a Muslim brother, but also to make dua for his protection and for his continued guidance by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that he be guided and be learned, and also help him steadfast to becoming possibly a student of knowledge, so that he may, with his influence, of course, because you have to keep in mind, one of the brothers from Muslim Lantern, he said, and I'm paraphrasing, that compared to the stuff we do as content creators and stuff, Andrew Tate has done more than anyone. He has shortcomings, he's human, he makes mistakes, he's made some stuff in the past, but we, again, like I said, we forgive and forget. But ultimately, because of his massive influence and because of his massive following, after he accepted Islam, of course, that cascaded into multiple people of his followers accepting Islam as well, and that has increased the size of this ummah, alhamdulillah. And hopefully they as well, with him, they all get guided to the truth, and they all reach a learned status, and they all help spread Islam. They become, great brothers and sisters in faith and in humanity, of course. If anyone out there is taking this seriously, all you can do is just wait for official news and official evidence, complete evidences, and see how we can make our judgments there. But for now, just make dua for his protection and dua for his guidance and for him and his followers. And honestly, that's kind of it for, this little discussion of mine. So that's really all that I have to say, because I haven't really seen many content creators. I may have missed a few, but I haven't seen any content creators covering what I've covered. But yeah. Also, with regards to Hustle University, I don't know if he still does it or not. Hopefully he hasn't. If the allegations are true, hopefully he put a stop to it. And that's a big if the allegations that the non-Muslims make about his alleged university is true. But yeah, man, like I said, this is really all I have to say on the matter. And these are the points that I didn't hear others, from my own feed state or say, that it came to me, and I decided to take it upon myself to make this weirdly unscripted video. And sorry for taking so long of your time, but yeah. Anyways, don't forget to make dua as well, and thank you guys for watching or listening. Wa ma'as salama wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.